What's good, y'all? What's good? Welcome back to Growth and God podcast. Today we're in Nehemiah 6. Continued opposition to rebuilding. Who wants to go ahead and start us off?
I'll start off.
All right, bet.
Okay. Now it happened when Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, the Arab, and the rest of our enemies heard that I had rebuilt the wall, and that there were no breaks left in it. Thought at the time I had not hung the doors and the gates. That Sanballat and Geshem sent to me, saying, "Come, let us meet together among the villages in the plain of Ono." But they thought to do me harm. So I sent messengers to them saying, I am doing a great work that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and go down to you? But they sent me this message 4 times, and I answered them in the same manner. Then Sanballat sent his servants to me as before, the 5th time with an open letter in his hand, and it was written, It is reported among the nations that Geshem says that you and the Jews plan to rebel. Therefore, according to these rumors, you are rebuilding the wall that you may be their king. And you have also appointed prophets to proclaim concerning you at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah. Now these matters will be reported to the king. So come therefore and let us consult together. Right there.
All right. Anybody notice anything?
Hmm. See.
I think something I noticed was how it's kind of small, but um in verse I think it's verse 2 when it's talking about these enemies that are basically they're sending a message, right? To he's working on whatever he's working on. He's rebuilding this wall that I'm assuming I have to read the exposition behind this low key, but I'm assuming God has tasked him with building this wall, right? Rebuilding
Right.
this wall. And but there's people that are against him, and uh he realizes that they're plotting to harm him. So he lets them know he's doing whatever he's doing, and he can't show up, because why would he when what he's doing has more importance than whatever they got going on. And I think it takes a lot of audacity for one to be like, hey, I'm not coming down, I'm working on what I need to be doing. But also I think it's cool how, he realized, it's like, wait a minute, this is like a trick. They're trying to hurt me. They're trying to hurt me, right? So thinking about that is like, I think that's discernment from God, because um I mean, honestly, it just sounds like something that God would do, because think about it this way. If he didn't have that discernment from God, he might have gone and then died and not been able to rebuild the wall, and it may have taken longer, it may have never happened, right? But in my head, it sounds like, God for some reason planted that discernment in him so that he could continue to do, what he needs to do. But let's keep reading. We're on verse 8. I'll go ahead and read. It says, I replied, There is no truth in any part of your story. You are making up the whole thing. They were just trying to intimidate us, imagining that they could discourage us and stop the work. So I continued the work with even greater determination. Later, I went to visit Shemaiah, Shemaiah, yeah, son of Delaiah and grandson of Mehetabel, who was confined to his home. He said, Let us meet together inside the temple of God and bolt the doors shut. Your enemies are coming to kill you tonight. But I replied, should someone in my position run from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? No, I won't do it. I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat, Sanballat had hired him. They were hoping to intimidate me and make me sin. Then they would be able to accuse and discredit me. Ah, this is kind of crazy. Wait, let me finish reading this last part. Remember, oh my God, all the evil things that Tobiah and Sanballat have done. And remember Noadiah, the prophet, and all the prophets like her who have tried to intimidate me. Hey, it sounds like shots are being fired at, bro.
Yeah.
But he's not going. He's not going for it. Okay, which is kind of cool.
So I missed the first bit, but they were why were they trying to get him to censor him? Like why were they trying to throw him off course?
Um, we don't really know
They were.
that. We
Yeah,
just
I don't
we
really know like
Yeah.
why.
the yeah where we
They weren't.
started from.
Oh,
It doesn't say why. We had to read
Oh,
before all that.
I think they didn't want to build the wall. I think because they didn't. I think it was because they didn't want the Israelites to like advance or like coming
Yeah. Oh
back. Like
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
did.
They
It
want the
mentioned
Israelites to come back.
something. Yeah. He was talking about that it says yeah verse 5 it says the fifth time Sanballat's servant came with oh no verse 6 and this is what yeah he came with an open letter in his hand, and this is what it said. There's a rumor among the surrounding nations, and Geshem tells me it is true that you and the Jews are planning to rebel, and that is why you are building the wall. According to his reports, you plan to be their king. He also reports that you have appointed prophets in Jerusalem to proclaim about you, look, there is a king in Judah. So basically, so it started off with he's rebuilding this wall, right? And his enemies found out, and this is from like first person POV, which in my opinion is unusual from a Old Testament book. Um, but he's talking about like his enemies found out that he had finished rebuilding the wall and there were no more gaps anymore, and though the gates and doors weren't set up. And then he said they're basically sending, they're trying to trick him into pulling up so that they can kill him and stop him from, advancing the things that need to be done for the kingdom of heaven, essentially, or for God's chosen people. And so they're trying to come up with all these different things to be like, but hey, like y'all are doing this. Is this true? Like they're trying to basically like call him out and pull him away from what he needs to be doing. And so the last thing we read was talking about he was basically saying, so that last letter that came through that was talking about, oh, it says you're trying to be king of Judah, there's these rumors around blah blah blah, right? From his enemy, right? This is a letter from his enemies, and he's saying that's not true at all, you're making it up, and you're just trying to intimidate us, imagining that they could discourage us and stop the work, so I continue the work with even greater determination. Yeah, okay, so he's cooking low key. But
why were they building that wall? I hope you don't mind me asking. Like
we
how was
weren't
it helping the kingdom of God?
we don't
You
know
don't even
that.
know?
We don't know that. We just started at
Gotta go
chapter
read it.
6, so yeah, you gotta go read it
I
back.
think. Oh, my fault. I mean interrupt.
You good?
You good?
I was just saying. I think it was kind of like, or like it was like they're building a wall. It's kind of at least like kind of like some sort of like not fortitude, like just to establish like they're building like a foundation, like a ground, like so that they can like have like a battle, because like there was a whole bunch of wars going on. Like that was the time there was a whole bunch of battles. Like they had all the armies and stuff. They were building a wall. I mean, I think I'm not 100% sure of this, but I can only assume like based off like the context. So like it was a wall for like that they could use for like their battles and stuff. Like there's something that they could use to kind of help them when they were going to like rebel or have their battles to try to like take back their kingdom. Because like the whole thing was like they wanted like the Israelites, they were like advancing, like they're kind of, they were in a bad spot. They were kind of like trying to build themselves
Hmm.
back up or like give back and kind of revive themselves. And like they was really just trying to keep them from building that wall because they wanted to keep them down. They didn't want them to build them. Like they
Yeah.
didn't want them to get a leg up at all.
Right. Yeah. So let's, for the sake of this Bible study, let's go ahead and just read the backstory. My Bible has a little backstory on it. It says the purpose of this
Yes,
book is to record the history of the third return to Jerusalem after captivity, telling how the walls were rebuilt and faith of the former exiles were renewed. Nehemiah, this is about Nehemiah. Nehemiah probably wrote the book with Ezra serving as his editor. That's the author. And it was written approximately 445 to 432 BC, set in Jerusalem. Three returns were led by Zerubbabel, Ezra, and Nehemiah. Okay, so and then it says this book shows the fulfillment of the prophecies of Zechariah and Daniel concerning the rebuilding of Jerusalem with walls. And so, just a little quick timeline: in 586 BC, Jerusalem was destroyed, and the exiles go to Babylon. Right. 532, first exiles return to Jerusalem. 516, temple is completed. So I guess they finished it, and then 458, Ezra comes to Jerusalem, and in 445, Nehemiah goes to Jerusalem, wall completed. And in around 430, Malachi begins his ministry. So that's where we're at right now. And there's more backstory, but that's just like a brief little understanding of it. So I definitely suggest like we all go back and read the whole book after this is done,
Yeah, that's what I
because
was doing.
yeah, it's not crazy long. There's only 13 chapters. Or wait, no. Yeah, only 13 chapters. So I'd suggest we just read through it on our own like
Yeah.
later. But yeah, so we stopped at where did we stop at? Oh yeah, we're on verse 15 now. The builders complete the wall. So who wants to read?
15 or 16?
15.
15.
Okay. All right. I can go. All right.
All right.
So the wall was completed on the 25th of Elul in 52 days. When all our enemies heard about this, all the surrounding nations were afraid and lost their self-confidence because they realized that this work of God, that this work had been done with the help of our God. Also, in those days, the nobles of Judah were sending many letters to Tobiah, and replies from Tobiah kept coming to them. For many in Judah were under oath to him, since he was son-in-law to Shechaniah, son of Era, and his son Jehohanan had married the daughter of Meshullam, son of Berechiah. Moreover, they kept reporting to me his good deeds and then telling him what I said. And Tobiah sent letters to intimidate me. Uh, so I mean, I kind of this is what I got. This is what I got from the part before this, but just kind of how they were repeatedly trying to get at them for building that wall, or just trying to intimidate them, or trying to like antagonize them, or just like, yo, I heard you building the wall. Yo, you building the wall? Why are you building the wall, man? Like basically like that. I mean, that's not what they're saying, but kind of what I got from that is kind of just like, I mean, people, when someone's doing a good thing, some people will support like a good thing. Some people will give it support. But like when it comes to evil, this kind of shows like how far people will go, or how much like people go out of their way to do evil or to do bad or to like do something or to like kind of put something down to help support something. People like, it's less common for people to go out of their way to support something or to build something up. But you will always see people going out of their way to hate on something or to like try to bring somebody down. Like, I mean, I know this is definitely not the same thing, but a good example is kind of like IG Reels comments. Yeah, everything, anytime someone's posting their own thing, people be in the comments like, it's less posts where people be like comment to support stuff, but people love to get in comment sections hating like, bro, take this down. People just
Right.
hating, just hating. Like people love to hate. Basically, the whole point I'm getting across is that people love to hate, and we can't let
People
that
that
like,
don't have Christ.
yeah, especially when you're doing a good thing. Like if you're doing people like evil, but when you're doing something good, I mean, you're like something good for yourself. People just love to hate. I mean, in this situation, it was something that wouldn't have benefited them. But even when it's like has something to do with you, people just love to hate in general, and they'll go out of their way to do it. But that's what I got from it.
When Hey, when you're walking with the Lord, you start to hate what the Lord hates, and your hatred shifts. You're not so focused on the world and the flesh. You start focusing on how much you hate sin and you hate what the Father hates. You know what I'm saying? Like people are acting out of their own emotions in those comment sections and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't have Christ in them. That's why they're acting that way. Because people that have Christ, man, He fills that void. He fills that love and peace, and He shows us that we are enough. And the only thing we hate, is like sin. So it's like that's where we're trying to imitate Jesus and follow Jesus, and it's like those things. Sorry, I got distracted. Someone was trying to get my attention. Yeah, those things start to not matter anymore. Because you remember what Xerxes was saying. I remember this one Bible study where he was saying, song words is cool and all, but none of this matters. It's like going to hate on someone, all that, like the thing you built for yourself. None of this matters if we're all going to heaven. We got to be focused on a relationship with Christ. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
but
yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, you know, what Nehemiah is doing here is he's staying focused, right? He's being bold and he's staying focused. It's people clearly trying to, like, he literally says it, like they're just trying to intimidate me. Like, and I'm not going for it. That's basically what he's saying. He's like, they're trying to get me off my game. They're trying to stop me from doing what God wants us to do, what God needs us to do. Because I don't know where we're at in the Bible, but I think this is before David, probably. And like, all I know is they needed whatever he was doing was needed, right? Or else it wouldn't be here in the Bible. We wouldn't be talking about it right now. Whatever he's doing is like, this is what God called him to do, and this is what he needed to do. But if that's something important, and he's continually being faithful, it seems like God's blessing that. And I'm sure, well, I don't know what, maybe the people could have come and take it over. They could have stormed whatever he was doing and killed him. But because he was bold, it didn't happen. He didn't cave under pressure and like go talk to them. He knew immediately this is intimidation, right? And it's not working. So thinking about that, it's like, okay, what are some things that like I need to be moving like that with in my life, And I think it's like it leads me to think about like adversity, adversity in like in the workplace, in public, just in life in general. Like, for example, for me, I got this. So it's like, there's this thing I'm dealing with at work right now. I'm the only black dude working there, right? I work at a car wash, and so I've been working there for about a month, and just being real with you, uh, too many people that are not black have been saying nigga, right? That's not okay, right? That's not okay. I don't find it okay at all. Never found it okay, And so to me, it's annoying, right? And now that I'm working there, clearly they've been doing it since before I've been working there, but now that I'm working there, it's like, it's not cool, not okay, right? So it's a respect thing, right? So it was one time when we were just in the office, and it was a whole bunch of us in there, and this one kid, Latino, he just like kept letting it slip over and over. I had to press him. I literally had to tell him, I was like, hey bro, like, don't say that around me. That's not okay. Like, I don't want to hear that again. Because, and then not even on no like prideful stuff. Like, it's just certain things, you know, I'm there to work, right? I'm there to work. So think about it this way. If I'm there to work and this other thing is going on here in my place where I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing, that's going to pull me away from what I need to be doing. That's going to distract me. If I'm always worried about, oh, this guy's so annoying, oh, like, I wish this guy would shut up, like, oh, blah, 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 then that's going to cause an issue for me. And, you know, this is my livelihood. This is how I'm making money. This is how, you know, I'm being able to pay for gas, whatever I need to do, right? This is a necessity. So if I, like, act out, like if I punch him or if I do something crazy like that, then that could put that in jeopardy. So I have to keep my cool and be like, hey, listen, this is not okay, blah, 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 blah. And so that's kind of how I feel. It's not the same, but that's what it feels like Nehemiah is doing. He's like, these people are sending, they're literally sending him letters talking about, oh, I heard, and they're lying. Like, they're telling rumors saying, oh, I heard blah, 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 blah about you, saying, trying to do this. This is what you're trying to do. But he knows what he's doing. He knows why he's there. And so he's actively being like, nope, this is not what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Keep it pushing. And so, like, I can see that parallel in my life for sure. But it's also just about, like, you know, keeping your cool when adversity comes and tries to push you, you know, because I think it's real easy to just cave and be like, yo, like, you know. But who else?
Yeah, I feel
yeah.
that, man. People really try to push you. Like, yeah, people really will try to like. Also, because another thing people will do is that when they see that you're getting on your nerves, like when they see that something's irritating you, they'll be like, okay, now I know what gets under it. Now I know what grinds its gears. Let me do it more. Like, people always like people will, once they see that they're able to get under your skin, they'll keep doing it. So I mean, that's kind of like why, well, sometimes when someone like trying to get under your skin and do that, so you can't really show them that they're winning, because like you're kind of letting them win by like letting them like kind of have like letting them what's it called, like control, kind of control your emotions. It's kind of letting them win because you're giving them a control over you in that sense. Like, you kind of like, you can't, like, we can't really let people uh can't really let people like get kind of have the upper hand on us in that sense, because that's kind of what it is.
Right.
Also, like, of course, when we're doing something for the Lord, people are gonna hate. So like, we kind of just gotta remember that also in the first place, that like, we're gonna be haters, we're gonna get pushback. So like, we kind of gotta prepare ourselves for that. So like, when stuff comes, when people just trying to like do too much, we already know. Oh, I already knew that was gonna happen. So this is nothing new. It's nothing, no surprise.
Right. Yeah, and I think another part of that kind of ties into the story is or this chapter is in verse 11 when he's talking about should someone in my position run from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? No, I won't do it. You know, I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered this prophecy against me because, you know, his enemies hired him. So like stuff like that, like thinking about it, it's like you really it probably takes a different level of understanding and wisdom to know it's like, wait a minute, I'm here for a reason. You know, I'm here because God wants me here. This is the plan that God has for me. So when something external tries to affect my internal, it's like I gotta, you know, take a second to like put that into focus and be like, wait a minute, this has no effect on me, right? Like just thinking about that, it's like, that could apply in so many ways. Like with the music, like what other people, like other people's opinions on your music. Like we're
Right.
all here making music for God, right? And we're all at different levels, and we're all learning. So, but the purpose is the same, you know, to save souls, you know, to spread the gospel through ministry and to influence people the right way, you know, doing all that. It's like someone can have something to say about your music, but at the end of the day, what really matters, you know?
Right. And I'm sure we all got some sort of weird comment like while we were promoting or something. Like I feel like it's happened to everyone. But another thing that comes with Christian art is that we know that why we're doing it. And it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not for fame and glory and for self-image. It's for God. You
Exactly.
know? Can I say something real quick
Yeah,
though
go
that stood
ahead.
out to me from uh this says verse 16 says, and when all our enemies heard it, all the nations around us were afraid and fell greatly in their own esteem, for they perceived that this work had been accomplished with the help of our God. So it's just funny to me how all these people that were enemies of Nehemiah, right? They were like, they had turned their back on God, or they were angry with God, or even maybe some of them didn't believe in God, whatever it was. But they knew it was God when the wall was finished, and they were terrified. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They knew, like they're like, oh snap. And it's just funny to me, man. We can't forget the power of God. And another thing, one thing I just want to say real quick, like obviously you're in that workspace, bro. Pray for him, bro. And forgive him, obviously, forgive others as our Father, Heavenly Father. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm tired. As our Heavenly Father forgives our trespasses. You know what I'm saying? Pray for him. I was just talking to my friend, like literally like an hour ago. She had some people that really did her wrong. But I was telling her, listen, you got to forgive these people and actually pray for them. And I'm like, watch how God works. You know what I'm saying? Like, so pray for that person. And remember, like when you're in that workplace, all of us, whenever we're out in public, somebody's eternity is way more important than us being uncomfortable. Like you got to talk to people about Jesus, man. Gotta bring it, especially when you see someone, and it's not to point out with your eyes, but you see someone you know they need Jesus, man. You see yourself. You're like, I remember I was depressed, I was anxious, man. I was trying to cover it up with weed, I was trying to cover it up with lust, this and that. And you can tell them, listen, man, I did all that too. You know, it didn't work for me, but the only thing that did was Jesus Christ. You know, so when I have an opportunity, I try to spread that, man. Like, we really gotta, we can't just be grouping together in our own times like some sort of secret church. Like, we gotta go out and actually like cause us all to preach and evangelize. Doesn't mean we have to be a street YouTuber who does that, like Bryce Crawford. It just means, if you have an opportunity, man, somebody's eternity is way more important than us being uncomfortable, man. Because it is uncomfortable sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I
But that's
agree.
all I want to say, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. I think with that, it's definitely there's definitely like just as a church and as the body of Christ, we're all blessed with different gifts. Some of us can produce, some of us can mix, some of us can master, some
Mm,
of us can rap, stuff
mm,
like that. Some of us are just good at content. Some of us are funny. Stuff like that. So just thinking about that, I think not everybody is like certain things are going to be easier to other people, right? And so, but
mm.
what matters is like when you feel the spirit telling you to do something, you need to act on it, and that's something I'm working on too. So just understanding that, and shoot, bro, following Nehemiah's example and having discernment in like when other things or like adversities come your way, trying to trying to block you from your purpose. Dude, we need to. I think what it really is being like solidified in your purpose. You know, he knew for a fact what he was supposed to be doing, and that's what mattered. That was the bottom line. And so everything that came his way didn't matter.
Man, it's just funny to me because like people comment and stuff, but a whole hate letter is crazy. You gonna send a whole letter again that you
That's
know
yeah.
they
That's
wrote?
that's what they had to do. They had to
That
send a
shows
they
the
had to
that
send a
shows
letter.
the effort they were putting in. That shows how committed they were
So
to
much
hating. Like
hatred, bro.
also because like they knew the power of what like they because like so they were terrified when it was done. So like they knew what was gonna. They knew like the stakes. Like oh, if they really get this done, we're fried. So like it was like oh, we gotta actually I guess that's
Mm,
part of the reason why they was hating so hard, because like they really wanted him to not build that junk. Because if they finished it, they knew oh that means the power of God go come. That means that we're like cooks. So like we gotta really hate on him, and I guess it ain't work. So
mm.
yeah, that's the thing. I
Oh,
think also that more. Oh, sorry. this is one more thing.
No,
This is
my
like
fault. My fault.
it's good. It's good. Like I'm almost like done. It's just like um when you're getting hate like that, and when you see people hate it so hard, like when you know what you're doing, like if you're doing something for the Lord and you see people hate like that, that's what just me motivation to go harder because you see why they were hating. Because like they were scared of the potential he had. They were scared of the potential the Israelites had if they were able to build that wall. That's why they were hating. Because then once they finished the wall, they was like, oh yeah, like they were scared. So like when people start hating on what you're doing for the Lord, just keep going. Cause they're like, just keep going. Cause once you finish, like, or once you get to where you're trying to get, like it's only up from there, and they're just trying to like stop you. And some like that for most situations, but yeah, that's all I was gonna say. JD, you can go ahead.
My fault. My fault to interrupt, bro. I was just saying they were obviously imitating Satan, bro. It's funny how you see like those people probably had nothing to do. Like they probably didn't even hate Nehemiah at all. They hated that it was God's will being done. Like if he wasn't doing that and he was just some random dude, they probably wouldn't even have anything against him. But the fact that he was doing God's will created all that hatred. And when you don't have Christ in your life, man, you're open to stuff like that. The devil can use people, and they literally were acting in the same way that Satan acts towards God. So they were clearly being used by Satan, just like God uses people. Satan just emulates in his twisted way because he copies everything God does, just in an evil way and a not so creative way. You know what I'm saying? Like he was using people, and
That
it's like
yeah, that could be.
you you
That's a
can you
possibility.
can see, man. Yeah, you can see when people are like emulating, you know, when they're being used in a bad way, because there's a lot of people open to it with like new age spiritual stuff and like just being separated from God, man. You're open to anything. You're not if you're not covered by the blood and you've separated yourself from God, bro, you're open to a lot of things, you know.
Hmm. I also uh think God allows for certain things to happen like this, like the hearts, hardening of hearts, or like allowing
Hmm.
for certain bad things to happen, or allowing for certain attitudes to be had. I think
Hmm.
because let's say, for example, they didn't care, right? And Nehemiah is just building this wall, and they didn't care. Then we wouldn't be in this Bible study talking about how Nehemiah was bold against these people that had tried to intimidate him, because that would have happened, right? So I think
Right.
certain things happen for a reason too, you know. So like other people can learn to make things clear in the other cases.
Shoot, he made a
Yeah,
lot of examples out of people in the Bible. I would hate to be an example. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know it's God's will, but sheesh, bro. Like everybody learned
yeah,
from this dude, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, I guess for God's glory, yeah. But I mean, still, some of these
Of course,
examples is like,
it's
I mean, like
embarrassing.
I do not. I mean, I guess I would be cool, but like I don't want to be made an example like Job was made an example. Cause like, yeah, yeah. I think
But just think
I
about
benefit
like
people, but like,
just think about the impact that Job's story had on us and like
True.
our generation, or
probably
like
save
people,
lives.
yeah, people now, definitely, like, he's in the Bible, he made it in the Bible, like, bro. Anybody else have anything to say though?
Uh, it was basically the same what y'all was basically saying. Basically, I can hear me right.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
hear you. You're louder than
Oh,
Xerxes actually.
oh, let me cut this down.
No, you're good. You're good. I was kind of saying Xerxes' mic was kind of quiet. I meant to say that earlier. Yeah, Xerxes, your mic is kind of quiet. Like when you're sitting back, I don't know if it's because you're sitting back or because your mic is quiet. But
it's,
yeah,
I think it's because I'm sitting back.
So
yeah.
I'm good
Go
now.
ahead. What you gonna say?
I was basically saying like I was just looking at it like Nehemiah, how because I read a little bit back of it and the backtrack was like the walls. Nehemiah was depressed about it. The walls was destroyed, so that means that now they're they're vulnerable for attack. People can now just come up in there and just attack them. So the walls is weak. The enemies could just go in there and just attack them. And everybody in there was just distressed. And so, Jeremiah wanted to rebuild the walls, to protect them because the walls was meant for protection and strength. And so, verse 6, meaning not verse 6, chapter 6, I was really like taking it in like how um we like build we could you could look at it as building a platform and but in God's will though, in his purpose and his will, like building your platform, um once you get to that top, like how Nehemiah was, he already built it. Once you start and you get to that top, there's gonna be like people gonna come sent from the enemy to throw you off your game, to make you doubt, to make you think about this, make you feel like, wait, is this really from God? Wait, to second guess yourself and just come against your own word, what God already told you, you know. And like I said, the enemy works the same way with Job as well. He did the same thing to Job. His wife said to curse God. Literally, his wife told Job to curse God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the enemy he could probably use it in your family. It could be your family, it could be friends, it could be anybody. When you try to build something from God, at least, it's going to get attacked. The enemy hates it. So that's why I was taking it from just chapter 6. It was just literally standing your ground, and having discernment, because literally Nehemiah had discernments like they was not sent from God. They were sent from the enemy to put fear in me. He had like sharp discernment. So yeah,
It's good.
Gotcha.
that's about it.
Sosi, Tonio, y'all got anything?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Thank.
got none.
Oh no, I don't got nothing to say.
Okay.
I thought you were saying like did y'all get the message? I was like, oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's a relatively short chapter, but I think we got a. I know I got a lot out of it. I hope y'all did too. I'm trying to think what else. We already talked about how you can apply it to your life, how you can apply it to your music, and what stood out. That's pretty much it. Is there anything else, y'all, that comes to mind based on this chapter? For y'all?
Shoot.
Got none.
I think we should do Nehemiah 6 next week.
Again?
When we just
One more
did it.
time.
Nah,
Huh.
bro.
Do it
No,
again.
next
I
week
did.
we should read the whole book of Jonah. It's
I
like
did
Jonah?
have. I did
that
have an
much.
idea of. Oh yeah,
Didn't you
that's
ever do a
tough.
Bible study on Jonah?
Yeah, it's short. It's really short. It's really good though.
Xerxes. What if we did like a story? Like, what if we start at the beginning and then the next couple episodes we like finish the story?
Of what?
We like chronological order.
It could be. It could be anything.
We
Shit.
could. Y'all want to
Oh,
do that? We could do that.
it's up to y'all.
Yeah, we could. We'll decide it off. Off cam. We'll decide that later. But I think that's pretty much it. Dude. My phone keeps going off. I'm a let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'll pray us out and then we can go ahead and call it a night. But I appreciate y'all as always for sliding through. And yeah, we finna get this going, and I hope y'all have a great week. Blessed week. All right. Dear God, thank you for bringing us all together tonight. And thank you for once again allowing us to fellowship and to praise your name through the reading of your word and, learning more about you and about your people, God, and how we should move throughout life. And I just pray that you remind us to have discernment, to be steadfast, and to be bold in our faith, God. And I just pray that you allow us to have a nice and smooth week and that everything goes well. In your name I pray. Amen.
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 Um,